So guys, ever since the Sunderland game, it has been really hard for me to come out to make a video concerning the Sunderland game, to talk on tactics, to talk on how Manchester United played, because it was really an eyesore for Manchester United. It was really hard for me to watch how Manchester United was able to play in the Sunderland game, because I felt in many one-on-one battles, in many simple challenges, in the basics of football, Manchester United really failed. And is that down to Michael Carrick, or is that down to the players? Because in as much as I'm being someone who wanted Manchester United, of course, to conduct the due diligence, to talk with many managers before appointing Michael Carrick. We also have to call a spade, and I always say this on Tactical Trafford when Ruben Amorim was the coach of Manchester United. In as much as we have the coach problem, we have the issue of trying to change the coach, having the right coach for Manchester United that is going to play the Manchester United DNA. I feel that we have a lot of average players as Manchester United that needs to leave. We need to buy new sets of players, particularly with Manchester United qualifying for the Champions League. You definitely don't go to the Champions League and expect magic to happen if we don't properly invest. And so in today's video, we are going to be talking about the necessary and the required overhaul that Manchester United needs to compete both in the Champions League and in the Premier League this season. So today we are going to be running through a lot of players, a lot of deadwoods, and I'm going to be needing your thoughts on the comment section on who you feel should be the first player to leave Manchester United come this summer transfer window. So, of course, when you're talking about overhaul and Manchester United, you really need to start from the defensive position, because, of course, we have Sade Lamas and the goalkeeper position. Definitely, Vitek is going to come back and try to provide competition for Sade Lamas, but we are not yet sure if Vitek is going to be staying at Manchester United come next season. So, of course, we're going to be starting from the defensive position. So, if you're looking at the central back position, we have currently 5 central backs, and 3 of those central backs are usually injury prone: Harry Maguire, Matthias De Ligt, and Lisandro Martinez. And we all know that Martinez can never give you more than 30 games in a season. I think the highest Martinez has been able to give Manchester United in a season is 42 games, and that was in his first season. And I feel that he's definitely not going to be able to give us such amount of games again because of the amount of injuries he has been able to incur since his time at Manchester United. So, of course, we need to really have a serious conversation about Lisandro Martinez. We need to have a serious conversation about Matthias De Ligt, because he has not played for Manchester United since November. And then we also need to have a conversation about Maguire, because I've always been a fan of Maguire, but I really feel that just as John Stones was being let go by Manchester City, and he was, his contract was not being renewed, I feel that was supposed to be the situation with Maguire. His contract was supposed to be allowed to run out, and then he leaves Manchester United. I don't really feel that Maguire was supposed to be at Manchester United up to 2027 or 2028. I feel that he needs to go, and we needed to get somebody really young, because of course next season we are going to be playing really high, and then he's definitely going to be caught in a lot of counter attacks, especially in the Champions League. So, of course, I really want Manchester United to sign a new central back, and I really feel that either of Harry Maguire, Martinez, and Matthias De Ligt, they have to be let go. One of them has to go, and we need to get a starting CB that is going to be starting alongside Eden Heaven probably next season. And also, going over to the right back position, of course, I don't feel either of Dalot or Mazraoui is going to go, so I feel we are good in that position. Moving over to the left back, there is no reason in the world we let Luke Shaw to start next season, even in the preseason. He definitely has to be in the bomb squad, because I don't feel he has done enough to be in Manchester United. Luke Shaw has been the oldest serving player at Manchester United. He has probably been in Manchester United for like 13 or 14 seasons, and he has not been able to replicate his top form for Manchester United. This is probably the only season he has been able to start 35 games out of 35 games in more than 10 years at Manchester United. That is probably unacceptable, and he needs to leave. I think we need to get a new left back. And of course, the midfield is the bone of contention. That is where definitely we have to get up to 3 to 4 players. Mason Mount should never be anywhere near Manchester United next season, because of course, just like the INEOS rule states that when a player stays at Manchester United for more than 2 years or for 2 years and he doesn't deliver, he definitely has to be sold, and he definitely has to be included in the bomb squad. And I believe that also applies to Mason Mount, and he needs to leave Manchester United as quickly as possible. So, of course, going into the defensive midfield position, we know that Casemiro is definitely going to leave. Ugarte is also definitely going to leave. So we have like 2 midfielders in Bruno Fernandes and Kobe Mino. That means that Manchester United needs to sign at least 4 midfielders to be able to navigate next season. So if you want to go into the attacking position, Matheus Cunha is not a natural left winger. So, of course, we need to be looking at getting a left winger. and we need to really get a very good left winger that should be starting at least. And then, of course, Benjamin Sesko is the only striker Manchester United definitely has, because Duchazexi does not fit into the philosophy of Manchester United. He's not a Manchester United kind of player. I feel he's a player that is going to suit in other leagues or maybe other clubs, but definitely not Manchester United. We need fast-paced strikers, strikers that can be able to score at least 10 to 15 goals every season for us. And that's definitely we need to get a new striker. Not most definitely a backup striker, but a striker that can be able to do the job, that can compete with Benjamin Sesko actively for Manchester United. In the right side of the pitch, of course, we have Mbemo and Amar. They have lost a lot of form. They have dipped in form, and probably I'm expecting them to have a very good season next season. But if Manchester United are really serious about rebuild, I know that it takes time, and you have to rebuild based on order of priority, and you have to choose positions to rebuild. You don't just spend money on 10, 11 new players. You have to choose the positions you have to rebuild. And I feel that if you want to choose positions we have to rebuild, Manchester United should be getting no less than 6 to 7 players next summer. So, guys, I want you guys to give me your thoughts on the comment section on the player you feel should be leaving Manchester United this summer. I want you guys to like, to share, to subscribe to Old Trafford. See you guys in my next video.